Okay, so we've got all of our pieces refined here. So if I alt tap this one, go into solo mode, you can see that's my refined piece here. I can do Shift D, and you can see that's the geometry I have. Super ugly, but it's going to serve its purpose for what I'm going to do to it in a bit. Now, some of these things are going to be Z modeler pieces here, like this. These are going to be Z spheres we're going to get to in a bit. This we're going to get to in a bit. But basically, I just wanted to show you what your refined boot should end up looking like. It's pretty plain, but at least all your pieces are in there. And most of these have dynamic turned on, so geometry, dynamic sub D, these are turned on. If I am going to start adding wrinkles and stuff to these, what I'm going to do is hit Shift D to turn dynamic off on all of these pieces I want to start sculpting on, like so. And now I can start sculpting wrinkles. Now, you're going to notice a lot of this was kind of like box modeling, and the same thing with these pouches up here. Most of this pouch was basically box modeling, and then at the very end go through and sculpt some wrinkles. And the reason for that is because it's going to maintain a lot of its form. I'm not going into Marvelous Designer for this, although I could. Marvelous Designer was used on his pants eventually, and then this top cloak here. But for something as simple as boots that are very heavy cloth and leathery, it's easy enough just to go in here, get your basic shapes, and then hit Control D. I'm going to hit Control D, and while I'm subdividing, I'm going to go back into Preferences, Edit, Blanker Surface, and then I got my standard brush. I'm going to crank my lazy radius up, which is for USB stroke lazy mouse, and then crank my Z intensity up just a bit. And now I can go in here and kind of start sculpting. Now, your resolution is going to be determining how much detail you're getting, but while you're sculpting cloth, it's probably better. I'm going to hit Control D. And now these things are all creased along their polygroups here, which I've already shown you if you've seen the previous videos. It's under your crease geometry crease menu, crease by polygroup, crease PG, and then you can go in here, and as I'm going up in resolution, I'm just kind of adding some wrinkles where they would normally go. So maybe along the side here, and this is basically just looking at reference and going, okay, so on the side here it could have a deep wrinkle, and then on the top here maybe not so much, and then on the inside here you can have some. And now he's got a bunch of stuff going on his boot, like these things here, so it's going to be a little bit tough to find areas where wrinkles could possibly go, but just kind of look at reference, do what you can, and then as you get up to a certain point you can hit Control D and then just start refining these wrinkles. So standard brush, clay brush, kind of the same thing you were doing with your block out, just going through and then adding wrinkles. Same thing for this thing back here, Control D one more time. Now you're going to see it's keeping these polygroups very, very creased. If you want to avoid that, Control Subdivide up to a certain point, then under your crease menu, hit Uncrease All, and then Control D one more time, and that'll add a nice soft transition around there. So that'll kind of make it look not quite so CG. So then go in and add your wrinkles wherever you feel necessary, and then Control D, and then once you get to a certain point, you can also Uncrease All, so you get the nice soft transition between your shapes as well.